Yo, what's good, y'all? It is your boy Tony the Savant back with another one. Hope everybody's having a good to great day. Let me do my intro. Shout out to my cousin Honk, that's the ambassador. Shout out to my boy Jeezy, that's the manager. Shout out to my boy Sauce, that's the vice president. Shout out to my right hand man and consigliere, Paulie Corleone. We Uncle Paulie's Entertainment over here. Shout out to the IOW Sports Network as well as the Run It Up Sports Network. Those my brothers. Y'all definitely please go check out their content, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. As well as to my guy Darian Hopkins, the D Hopkins Show. Please go show his channel some love as well. Doing great work. Y'all know I saved the best for last. The main course. Gotta serve to the bosses. That's y'all, man. I appreciate y'all pulling up and rocking with your kid. I always hope that the work is excellent and improved. And so let's get into it. We're talking about them Dallas Cowboys. Hey, hey. Now, look, y'all know I got a funny history with the Dallas Cowboys. If you don't know, I'll go into my relationship with the Cowboys. Over the years, since I moved to Texas, I'm originally from the south side of Chicago, y'all. I was born in Green Bay, Wisconsin, so that's my green. I have a relationship with the Cowboys. I have a relationship with the Packers. I do not have as being a Chicagoan my entire life for the most part. I don't have a relationship with the Bears for the main reason that's I've told this story before, but that's primarily because of Brett Favre. The relationship I have with the Packers is kind of like this organic spiritual connection because I'll get into that story another time. But anyway, Brett Favre essentially, as a youngster, I say I had to be no older than 4 years old, 5 years old, when I used to see him rip the Bears a new one and break my dad's heart every time. And I love my dad, I do. So I say this: I do have a relationship with the Bears, but it's a secondhand relationship through my dad. I do not uh, talk crap about the Bears and respecting him. But as a Packers fan, you know what it is. You know, we typically get their number, and uh, I'm proud to call myself a Packers man. But I do, and I am an undercover Cowboys fan. That's right. I'm confessing it right here, right now, y'all. I am an undercover, angry Cowboys fan. And what I mean by that is that I've lived in Texas the last 13 years of my life. So just about I've lived 2/3 of my life in Chicago and 1/3 of my life in Texas. So Texas is my second home. I've come here. I met fantastic people. I originally lived in North Dallas. North Texas, in the Plano, Frisco area. Went to a few Cowboys games with my big brother Jason Caston. Shout out to him. And it was just always a fantastic time in Dallas or in Texas, I should say, because I now live in East Texas, and just as much love out here. Small town, small town love. Everybody looks out for each other. A little different than North Texas and Dallas for sure, but um, it's just been Texas has just been my second home, and I can say I truly love it. Now, you say Tony, you've been in Texas all this time. How do you get Dallas Cowboys fan? Well, that's mainly because of Tony Romo, another NFL quarterback, with his fantastic play recruited me to. Being a Dallas Cowboys fan, and that mainly primarily happened playing Madden, video games. The Dallas Cowboys became one of my teams that way, and also in real life, I began to cheer for them. Like I say, undercover because as a Packers fan, I had to stay loyal. You know what I mean? I've never worn a Cowboys jersey or anything like that. But with my channel, I have an opportunity to express my support for the Cowboys and also express my level of support for the Cowboys. So now that you got a backdrop on why I do support the Cowboys, why I love the Cowboys, I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna give you all my four concerns going into this evening's game against the Los Angeles Chargers, because we have had some issues with my Dallas Cowboys, and I'm actually about to start an exclusive show just talking about my Cowboys called the Angry Cowboys Fan. That's right, people. I put out a promo flyer for it. Y'all please rock with me if you do so choose. And again, it's just going to be about Cowboys talk because, like the Packers, man, I like talking about the Packers. But since Aaron Rodgers his last 5 years there and all that kind of stuff, all of the stuff that transpired with him, and has put us in a position that we are in right now. Right now, there's not much to talk about with the Packers outside of Jordan Love and his potential. And his projections, I should say. It's not really much to talk about my Packers. We are in a proverbial rebuild. The Bears, well, the Bears, right? But anyway, I don't really, talk about the Bears either, unless I'm talking to my dad. We do have our own dialogue about the Bears from time to time. But exclusively, I want to use my channel to talk about my Cowboys because I've always respected and loved the Cowboys, even back when Brett Favre recruited me to the Green Bay Packers. Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, we know the big three, the triplets. They was right there in the mix too. I didn't know the concept of teams and Cowboys and Packers and all that. I knew players and Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. I knew those guys. You know what I mean. So these two dudes, those three was in the mix as far as some of my favorite players, as well as like the Steve Youngs, Jerry Rices. Um, though, and so my admiration for the Cowboys has been long, it has been long suffering. I've been rocking with the Cowboys. I also know a bit about the history of the Cowboys because I've watched Skip Bayless over the years. So I've always been intrigued because he's such a huge Cowboys fan about the history and about the '70s version of the Cowboys and the '80s and of course the infamous '90s. Cowboys have a very rich history, man. Been around for a long time. So I have some concerns about us going into tonight's game. Just as a long time undercover fan. My first concern: will the Cowboys bounce back from that loss that we took to the 49ers? We all know that was, in Dak's words, the most humbling game he has been a part of. He was abysmal that game. Dak has what 5 touchdowns for the season, 4 interception, and had 3 in that game alone. This is the problem and the issue I think we have with Dak Prescott as the Dallas Cowboy community. It's not that Dak Prescott is a bust. It's that uh, he doesn't have any signature games, any signature moments against these primetime teams. And outside of the Philadelphia Eagles, I give him his credit. He'll usually play big against them for the rivalry purposes. I guess he gets hyped up for that. But at the end of the day, this 49ers game was a big one on the calendar. I think everybody had it circled. And it was one of those games that had playoff implications. You know what I mean? Considering the role that the 49ers had been on until they just lost to the Cleveland Browns yesterday. Of all stinking teams, it would be the Cleveland Browns. That defense is formidable. Um, yeah, I got some concerns, and this is also year 8 for 30-year-old Dak Prescott. So it's starting to become he's starting to become what he is. You know what I mean? You can have your hope for the future and all that kind of stuff, but at 30, you are what you are. As an athlete, anywho, you're not really building up from the ground anymore. You're not building up the mechanics. All the foundation should be there. All of the intangibles should be there, as well as the tangibles. From about 27, 28, 29, you start seeing people at their physical and mental peaks as athletes. And Dak has looked mid in all 3 of these years that he's supposed to have peaked. You know what I mean? Like again, like I said, this is year 8. Dudes like Patrick Mahomes, who's only been around 5, 6 years, have surpassed him. Are light years ahead of Dak. Joe Burrow's only been around 3 or 4 years, has surpassed him. Light years ahead of Dak. Lamar Jackson, light years ahead of Dak. Jalen Hurts, light years ahead of Dak. These are guys that are not even in year 8. You know what I mean? Dak has been around. This ain't his first rodeo. He also had the privilege of learning under Tony Romo. So just one concern there of many.